This is a traditional food substance. Sturdy, white, tasty, and British. And this is a squirrel. Tiny, furry, and inoffensive. Now, this fluffy little ball of fun is not normally considered an edible food source, but there is nothing normal about this report. This is squirrel jam, better known by its street name, squam. Squam is a sloppy pate-like substance made from the anus glands of squirrels. Manufactured in Eastern Europe, this so-called food is 10 times more addictive than heroin and lethal in large doses. Due to the back-and-forth bollock-kicking operation that is Brexit, squirrel jam is finding its way into the UK due to increasingly lax regulations on imported European goods. Now, although squam is normally found in their non-English-speaking delis, more mainstream supermarkets such as Sainsbury's and Asda wish to stop this foreign invader as they believe that its addictive qualities will guarantee them a healthy revenue stream. Special interest group Prejudice Achieved Through Inciting Outrage are calling for the boycott of squirrel jam and, by extension, the entirety of Eastern Europe, calling squam an affront to English rights. But what do the good people of Trowbridge think of this deadly multicultural menace?
It's all really shocking. I mean, eating a squirrel's ass is one thing, but a dead squirrel's ass? No, absolutely not.
Do you know what? I'm not surprised. That Eastern European lot eat weird shit anyway, like fish and gherkins.
I'm telling you, it won't be long before they'll be cannibalising our children and raping our food. Rick Shitty brother's ex-wife's stepdaughter's third cousin Sharon became an unfortunate victim of this deadly substance when a Romanian gypsy woman sold her squirrel jam from the back of her travelling cart.
She was just out looking for a light snack, a Dunkable or something like that. But then she come across this gypsy woman who told her that eating this squam would be like eating 10 Dunkables in one go. So she give it a try. I can only assume that the woman threatened her with a curse if she didn't buy it. That's the only scenario that makes sense. It wasn't long before she was hooked. All she cared about was getting her next squam fix. She was obsessed. Eventually she started selling her body for crackers worth of the stuff. Sadly, she was found in an alley with a needle in her arm. Squam overdose. Constantly taking it in the mouth was no longer giving her the same high. Guess she felt she'd have better success by mainlining the stuff. It's been really hard for me. I don't really know her. So getting people to feel sympathy for me has been really trying. I just wish we'd be directly related.
Professor Armitage Shanks from the Institute of Hazardous Foreign Foods in Heapton-upon-Rye has warned about the dangers of eating non-British foods and says that people should be aware that these foods are both icky and are oftentimes made from obscure animals, most of which carry deadly parasites.
52% of all Eastern European foods are made from animals in the Sciuridae family. This includes things like chipmunk bread, chicken fried prairie dog, and of course, beaver cheese. Now, all of these foods are common in their Polish delis, and quite frankly, that's exactly where they should stay. Britain did not become an empire by kicking off each morning with a fat dose of squam-covered kippers. But a surprising amount of these foods are finding their way to the English public. The issue, you see, is that these particular foods carry a nasty, nasty parasite known as the pedopalansky, which sponges off of its host, stealing crucial nutrients away from the body by means of undercutting the competition. This then creates a need for more of these substances to enter the host, bringing with it more of these deadly parasites. This then leads to the host needing to replenish often, creating the squirrel jam addiction. Now, obviously, with so many of these things in your body, you can't feed them all, and eventually the resources run dry, killing the host. The large parasite family then moves on to its next geographical location. They really are quite ingenious, you know. They do very little work, but cause a huge amount of damage to an extremely delicate ecosystem.
Only a human being with a mind as twisted as a washing line in the wind would create something as horrific as squirrel jam. It's hard to believe that this slop is a staple part of the Eastern European diet. We contacted Sainsbury's and asked them why they would stock something so detrimental to the English way of life. They declined to comment. But one thing is clear: Eastern Europeans plus squirrels equals death. Since squam was introduced to the UK 18 months ago, a staggering 2 million people in the 70 to 90 age range have mysteriously died. Now, although most of these deaths have been publicly labelled natural causes, we can only really speculate as to how many of those deaths were the direct result of squirrel jam consumption. So how do we begin to extract this deadly menace from our country? Tighter border controls? Stronger defences? Who knows? But one thing this reporter does know is that something has to be done, or the rotten stench of this situation will hang in the air like an old man's shit-stained nappy. I'm Dick Pound, and this has been my full frontal assault on Squirrel Jam.